What's going on, guys? Bladezilla here, and today we are taking a look at this gorgeous full DLC Damasteel Reate Velocity. It's a Tashi design, so it should look nice in Persian, in blade and nature. And you know what? I've had this one up on the site here for a little while, and it dawned on me this evening. I've never once done any kind of a review on the Velocity. And I've had so many different configurations come through in all kinds of materials, blades, and I decided, you know what, let's grab a DLC one, mainly because the handle's not going to be bouncing the light off it like the full titanium version. It's going to be a little more muted, although I can see I'm getting all kinds of handprints already on this particular one. I guess that's just kind of the nature of DLC. So I figured, why not grab one, do a video on one. We got a DLC Reate Damasteel Velocity here. So really cool knife. It's been around for a couple months now, but super cool, super swoopy, and a great knife to do a short video on. So as a reminder, guys, check out Bladezilla.ca, where a lot of the knives featured on this channel are available for sale in Canada, including all kinds of cool Reate stuff. Some Koenigs, some Shiros, some Microtechs, some Protechs, some Striders. Geez, I got a batch of the titanium, amphibian, and MSIs in. I am getting some more stitches, so just be patient on that one. Anyway, Shiros, CKFs, all kinds of really, really cool stuff. And in fact, I will give you a little spoiler. There's an absolute heat coming to the site here shortly. So leave it at that. So the Velocity. Let's do some short measurements and some quick measurements, I should say. It is later in the evening for me. It's about 9:30 at night, and it's been a long day. And you know what? I'm trying to commit to these videos, so figured let's get one up here. So 7 3/4 inch overall length on this guy. Blade length, it's pretty big actually. That's what she said. 3 and I guess 1/4 to the center of that choil, but realistically, you're a little over 3 1/8 kind of blade length, and handle length about 4 3/8. So pretty good overall size, really swoopy as you can kind of tell. So it's going to really fit inside your hand. And I'm just trying to see the weight on this. I don't have my scale, but I'm going to quickly take a look in the store here because I should have it listed. So let's grab the Velocity. And I thought, what is this guy? Feels like it's around 3.5. It's claimed at 4 ounces. It might seem a little bit high. So let's take a look inside this. Actually, is it pretty skeletonized? Looks to be. What do you guys think? You're seeing lots of skeletonization in there? I think we are. It's made to look like an integral. As you can kind of see here, squished together. Harder to do with carbon fiber than titanium, obviously, but they aren't claiming it to be an integral, but it's supposed to have that kind of look. It's really cool. We've got the Zerk accents or Reate accents on it on the clip, externally attached, as you can kind of see there. Looks really, really nice. And then we've got the other Reate accents as well. And the beauty of these, honestly, is, I've had a handful of these come through in all different configurations. The beauty of these, they all look a little different because of those accents. Really, really cool. We've got, it looks like T10 hardware, possibly T8. Does it matter at that level? Not really. It's not like T4. So, super easy to rebuild these. Reate, as you guys know, is basically like the gold standard in OEM right now. They're knocking it out of the park. Some of the T600s. Have I done a video on that T600 yet? Like, my gosh. That knife came in. That's a full integral from Reate. And I feel like nobody really knows it. They think it's kind of like this style of an integral of the Velocity, which is great, but that's an actual integral. And that one's flying way under the radar compared to the Terminator 1000s and 6000s that have come through. The T600 is just next level. Speaking of next level, the Damasteel blade on this, much like the Reate accents, they're all unique. Great layering. You get one, your buddy's knife, they're all going to look a little bit different. As you can see, super, super swoopy. almost as if on this blade and this handle, they're almost the opposites. And you can kind of see the design language that they're utilizing here, where you can kind of see that the point bellies out, and then on the handle, you're kind of seeing the point in this corner, and it bellies out the other direction. And it's kind of a, is it yin and yang, or is it yin and yang? I don't know. Either way, it really balances the design language really, really nicely. On the top of the blade, it does have a little bit of a flat spot on the top, so you can kind of go all the way down to the tip, although you're probably not going really past this zone here. Wow, is that comfortable? It looks like a bear claw, honestly. That's so swoopy. Really, really comfortable. And this, you know, this little touch right here, that little milling, that micro milling on the handle, my goodness, does that make all the difference in the world in terms of how it fits inside your hand. Wow. My first two fingers really lock inside the front here, and you can really probably use this for all kinds of, like if you wanted to have a steak knife or something for going out, this would be the one. My goodness. Super, super comfortable, balanced as well. Behind that pivot, I imagine. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then on the lock bars, we can see we do have some beveling on both sides. It is not raised, and I always do like to show that with my Shirogorov Hattie. It is not raised, but both sides are beveled out, which means essentially one thing, it makes it feel wider than it is. How can I describe that? It makes it feel like there's more width to the blade, if that makes sense, right? Wider blade, more space between, so that's what that really accomplishes, and it just makes it easy to access. It is on bearings, silky smooth. This one obviously not broken in whatsoever. Flipper tab is integrated into that design, much kind of like, you know, it's very similar to like the Quantum, in that the Quantum would kind of forego that portion of it right here, where my thumb is, would cut that off, and that's basically the Shirogorov Quantum. But in terms of this guy, you can see the jimping is forward of center on the front here, as you can kind of see, so it will hammer out real nice and smooth and easy, no issues. The clip also lands on top of the frame itself, as to put pressure on the frame versus the lock bar. Super cool. And also look at the layering on the clip. Oh, this is what it's all about. I love this kind of stuff. I love this design language. A knife that's kind of flown under the radar. I did a quick check, and I did see some big names have reviewed the knife when been super, super popular. And like I said, I have had a number of these go through, and who knows the timing of those sales with some of those heavy hitters in the YouTube space. But you know, a lot of people are really digging the Velocity. No issues. And then on the back here, I forgot to even show that. It's probably been in portions of the video already, but we've got the logo, the Tashi logo. I love that. Found on a lot of different collaboration pieces with Reate as well. So super sick. Nice consistent grind as well. If you want to take a look at that edge. Beautifully done. Just classy, right? Super classy. Now on the site right now, I believe I have 3 different configurations of this knife available. 2 of them are full dress. One of them being this DLC variant here. And then I believe I have I think it's a satin tie with the Damasteel as well. So basically this just without the DLC handle. It might be a little bit cheaper, I'd have to check, but usually DLC on most brands are a bit of an upsell, not by much, maybe $30 or $50, but sometimes they do like to charge that diamond-like coating a little bit of a premium. Now in terms of sizes, well, what do we got here in weights? I said it was 4 ounces. Let's see where it stacks up against a couple of the normal knives we use on the channel for size comparisons. So let's start with a Shirogorov Quantum, which is much bigger in nature, as you can kind of tell, apples and oranges. But you know, if you're on the channel, you will be seeing that I use a lot of the same knives or consistent knives as my size comparisons. So there's your Quantum. Let's go to the Stellar, which is probably what I had in my head would be a fair size comparison, more Stellar-esque in nature, although the Stellar much more drop point than that sweepy Persian delight that's on the Velocity. I'm not going to go into the special editions. Let's do the Astrum. You know, more dainty as well, thinner in nature, longer obviously in the handle, but nonetheless, a fair comparison there as well. And then we'll get into some of the smaller stuff like, where's my Roosevelt and some Sabenzas? There you go. The Oz Rosie, super cool little piece as well, a little mid-tech from the States. And then the Rosie Killer, allegedly. I still think the Rosie is just so good. The Triaxis Midnight, also in that medium-small kind of size band. And then we'll go to the standard, your large Sabenza, which should be a little bit bigger, right? It naturally should, not a ton, but you know, just a classic size in the Sabenza. And then we'll find the small as well, right there. And that's a good size comparison as well. And actually, as I was digging this one out, I actually found a stack of Reate PL6s that never went on the site, that I just don't know why I have them, but yeah, PL6s, I should probably throw those up for super cheap at some point here, because I don't think they're on my books. I don't know why these conversations come up in the middle of the night, but anyway. And then one more, we'll do the Benchmade as well, the bailout, I believe, just for size, which is more bug out size and length, but you know, this is the original variant of it, and I've used this obviously to cut a lot of boxes and open some stuff. Super cool knife, and honestly, I know we focus on this channel on a lot of high-end knives, a lot of really nice stuff. The Benchmade bug out, like, say what you want about that knife, not the bailout. I realize this is the bailout. The bug out it's an awesome knife. Like, it's just a good size all around. Don't really have a whole lot of problems with it as a heavy user, but once you kind of get into actual usages of cutting monster boxes and stuff, yeah, you're going to want something a little bit beefier and burlier. But anyway, as a general rule, it's a great knife. Much like this, I think this Velocity would be a great EDC. A little dressy for you know, cutting cardboard boxes in the back of a warehouse, but hey, it's priced as such that if you wanted to do that, you could absolutely do that and keep sharpening that blade. That's also dead center. Nice little tie in there. Beautiful, actually. And you know, the flipper tab makes it a little more accessible than a bug out, I'll be honest. Number 24, this particular one. No, I don't pre-screen when I grab these things out of a stock or whatever. This is just 24. I've got a couple different versions of this knife, and you know, it is what it is. I don't hand select them or anything, just so you guys are aware. They're all really good QC. No issues with Reate, honestly. They're beautifully done. I'm just looking, so externally attached on the clip, we've got DLC hardware as well. That's a nice little touch. And nothing internal, I don't believe. We do have that lock bar insert on this one, / over travel stop, which I would assume would be built into that kind of bolster. So that would make a lot more sense there. Looks really nice, really nicely done. This is an under the radar knife that, you know, maybe it's more on my radar because I just completely omitted doing a video on it when they were launched a couple months back. But it's been on my hit list. I know it has been. It's a great knife, super popular. And I think, don't quote me on this, I think I may only have the Damasteel variants left, because at one point I had a pile of like the full tie and some bronze ones and all kinds of different configurations, and they were priced so competitively that they just flew out of here. And you know, anything in the full dress category, it's a more of a refined taste, I find, for the true collector that wants to kind of get into the Zerks, the Zerka ties and Damasteels and stuff. And you know, truthfully, the volume on these knives are a little bit lower, and the price point sometimes 2-3 times the price for someone who's going to actually use like a full tie satin with it. I think they were LMAX on those ones. I don't think they were M390. I thought they were LMAX. This is just going off memory. I have no clue. Could be wrong, but they were fantastic sellers and great knives and great feedback. Not a single dud in the batch, so I love that kind of stuff. No front flipper though, and yeah, just a super reliable flipper in that super sweepy style that only Tashi likes to do, with those nice Persian angles. Looks gorgeous, and you know, get them while you can. I don't think they're making any more batches of these as well, so I'm down to my last handful of these as well. So super sick, great knives. Anyway, guys, I'm glad I was able to film this, and I was kind of aiming for 10 minutes on this particular video. Probably went over 15. I'm sorry in advance. That's just kind of the name of the game sometimes. For me, I like to ramble, and when it's late at night, sometimes the words aren't coming to me as quick as normal. So there you go. As a reminder, check out bladezilla.ca for all this that you kind of see on the channel. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, pretty accessible to find. And if you're watching this on YouTube, throw a thumbs up. It's always good, much appreciated if you guys do that. And like I said, this should be dropping on early October on a Thursday, so I should have some absolute heat coming up over the weekend of some really nice stuff, just so you guys are aware. So keep your calendars open or your browsers refreshed for that. So lots of good stuff as always. All right, guys, well, have yourself a fantastic finalization to your week. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, leave them below. Otherwise, we will see you on the next one. Okay, peace, guys.